Welcome back to the channel, and if you've been following along, you remember the gbody we was pulling the small block out of. Well, we're gonna sneak in on him right quick and see what kind of progress he's got. Hopefully he's got that LS shoved down in it, and so he can get started on the hot side. Can't focus.
Nice.
Should have put fuck Joe Biden. So, while we're talking about it, we know we don't need a spacer on this motor, but it looks cool. Let's see here. We'll get people to comment on this and see what they think. So with spacer, I mean, there's also the option, because it is drilled both ways. Try not to drop it off. Run it like to the side or whatever. And obviously he's not going to run that. Hold that. Or without. I mean, it looks good both ways, but I just feel like that spacer just makes it look pretty. And obviously you can't run it sideways because of the rails, so it has to be forward, or unless we want to be gangster and run it backwards through the firewall.
No.
Nope. So obviously they've been cleaning, painting, getting everything ready. It ain't in yet, but it will be soon. They gotta get it off the stand so they can put the dumbbell, whatever, dumbbell, dog bone, whatever the fuck you wanna call it. But, so they can get in there, then they can put the plate on it and blah blah blah. But we know we don't really need the plenum volume, but it just looks really cool and it breaks up all the black. He's got a big enough hood, it don't matter. It won't be too high. But yeah, we all agree to run a spacer. You're gonna get a bunch of plugs. The guy that had this before had a vacuum port. There's 5 on here, so we think that 1 went to a regulator, 1 went to each blow off, 1 went to each wastegate. There's other ways than drilling holes everywhere, and then there's the one there, which he's probably gonna put a temperature sensor under there, so the wire comes under and is very easily hidden. But how does it feel to know that you're even going fuel injected?
It's different.
It's like trying to learn a new language, but having a retard trying to explain it to you. It's all gibberish to us. We don't know.
Can't go out here with a flathead and 5/8 and make it work.
Right. But we have help. We have people that know, because we don't. And yeah, since last time he installed a bunch of new lights so we can get a vibe. Oh yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. This guy, like, he is a hoarder. This is a hoarder beyond hoarders. Dirt track tires, chainsaws, all kinds of random parts. But what is this motor right here that's covered up behind all this?
455 grand sport motor. It's got a big solid cam in it, don't diss, and a bunch of Butler performance stuff in it.
And then that is the 385 that he just pulled out. I could just, like, literally every time I'm here, I just stare at the walls. I stare, and you never see the same thing twice. The more you look, the more you find. He loves that. That's his style, not me. I have a stroke when it comes to all this. But like this is what I mean by hoarder. I mean, this was obviously not one of his motors, but it's cool to have.
Aluminum rod 496.
Aluminum rod 496. Whose was it?
Belonged to what was his last name, Harry? What? The redhead dude from Hazard. Burton. John Burton.
But yeah, I keep telling him he should probably start, you know, getting stuff out of here, out of his way, but he says no. He ain't got enough room in here. I give him my old cow hood when we had busted up, and he had gladly fixed. These two guys both had fixed before we ended up selling it anyways. Or not selling it, but getting the new hood. But so what's next? What are you planning on doing? Put the timing cover on it.
Timing cover on. Pick it up and put the dumbbell and the rear seal and the back cover on.
Right now he's working on a drain back for the pan.
Yeah, I got
letting some paint dry.
Bigger drill bit and drill it bigger.
Yeah, because we got to have all the oil flow as much as possible. So, and he's also talking about, are you wanting to run the crossover down, under, and back up the way?
I'm gonna put it under the front door.
It's going to come down, over, and up.
Yeah, and then the one from this side will come down 180 and back in, so they're the same length.
Okay, so it'll look like something that Tibbs has done on his at one time. Pretty sure Tibbs was like that once.
Zach Rankins is made that way.
Well, then Zach, I know you're going to see this. We need pictures of your car. Pictures makes things easier. But it's funny. All this factory stuff, and he's got a car outside on the rack that's got all the pretty clean stuff, and he doesn't even touch that car. I can definitely see that stuff's going to get swapped back and forth, ain't it?
Yeah.
I'm also trying to convince him to cut all of the wiring out of it. Us carburetor guys don't know how to touch wiring, do we? We don't know what to do. So we just shove it in the corner and zip tied up.
I mean, it's going to thin down. All that stuff has to be there. That's all the lights.
Oh, also, while I'm here, talk about this. So his elbow was drilled for 2 different patterns. I'll show you right quick. This is something that I was needing to know. You have a Ford pattern, and then you have the Chevy pattern. And obviously this has been wallered out for a 102 or 105, 102 millimeter. But this is also drilled to run it either direction. So he was nice enough to give me some paper so we can mark all this out. That way I can go and drill all my stuff to save me all the headache, because we're not smart. And we would work on this for hours trying to get right.
It had some screwed up slotted holes.
Yeah, they'd probably end up like 3/8 or something, and we would just and helical and drill back through the helicals. But I'm gonna turn the camera off, quit making them nervous, so I can get something done.